What if I told you one of the most experienced tackles in college football has already started across both sides of Georgia's offensive line, allowed 0 sacks in an injury-limited season, and still enters 2026 with something major to prove? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Draft Yoda, where we're data-driven and prospect-focused. As always, I am Draft Yoda himself, Bill Workman, your favorite draft nerd, your favorite draft nerd's favorite draft nerd. Whew, that's a tongue tire right now. Today we're breaking down Georgia offensive tackle Earnest Greene III. Greene comes in as my number 39 overall prospect, offensive tackle number 4 for the 2027 NFL draft at a 9.02 grade. And this is a really interesting evaluation because Greene is not some mysterious prospect. He has the recruiting pedigree. He has the SEC starting experience. He's played in one of the best offensive line development programs in college football. He's played left tackle, right tackle. He's protected at a high level. And even in an injury-limited 2025 season, he allowed 0 sacks. But the reason the evaluation is complicated is because the pass protection held while other parts of the profile started to strain. The back injury matters. The run blocking slipped. The movement profile is not elite. And the arm length is not ideal. And when Georgia moved a younger teammate to the blind side, that told us something too. So today we're going to talk about Earnest Greene III's evaluation. He came to Georgia from Bellflower, California. And if that sounds familiar, it should. They played at St. John Bosco, one of the premier high school football programs in the country. It's a national powerhouse. It's a place where future Power 4 players are everywhere. And it's a place where you're facing elite talent at practice, in league, and on national stages. And Greene was a 4-year starter there, and that matters because he was able to gain development that you don't see people gaining in high school, and was able to get high-level reps before he even touched Athens. 4-star recruit, top 50 recruiting profile 2022, All-American Bowl participant. I mean, he had everything. Everybody wanted him. Georgia got him. Redshirted in 2022. In 2023, he played left tackle for the Georgia Bulldogs. Started left tackle as a redshirt freshman is not a small thing. And then staff trusted him. He started 14 games. He was first-team freshman All-American. He earned a spot on the SEC All-Freshman team. He allowed 0.93 sacks per game that season at the left tackle position. And that's as a redshirt freshman. That's a lot. Georgia also finished top 5 nationally in total offense, passing efficiency, and scoring that season. So this wasn't just a young lineman surviving. He was contributing to one of the best offenses in the country. The reason the early tape matters is he looked like a player with a dependable pass protection profile. He understood angles. He could play with enough balance, and he never looked overwhelmed on the SEC stage, which is huge. SEC and Big Ten, the pass rushers are better. The speed is different. The counters are more advanced. The margins are always small. And Greene never looked out of place. And that's why his name stayed in NFL conversations. The issue is 2025. He got moved to right tackle. He started 9 games. And in those 9 starts, he gave up 6 pressures, 0 sacks. His pass protection held up. And he was managing a back injury. And even while moving to the right side, even while not playing at full strength, Greene still didn't allow a sack. That's meaningful to me because offensive tackles are judged harshly One bad rep can wreck a game. One missed set can kill a quarterback. One loss on the edge can change a drive. And even compromised with a back problem, he kept the sack column clean. The tape you want to watch is the Ole Miss game. It is the game where you saw both sides working together, his protection and the push, his pass sets and his run game movement. The version Georgia wanted to get from him the full season. When Greene is healthy and playing with more power through his lower half and core, the profile looks different. He is more connected. He is more forceful. He can cover up defenders. He can stay balanced in protection. And that's the key. The NFL is not just evaluating whether you can survive on pass downs. They want to see you be a full-time football player. And that Ole Miss game shows it. First thing I really love about him is the experience. 3 years of SEC starting experience from both tackle positions really matters because he's seen different fronts, different pressures, different rush plans, different body types. He's seen speed, he's seen power, he's seen long arm rushers, he's seen inside counters, twist stunts, you name it, he's seen it and more. And the second thing I love about him is his pass protection reliability. 6 pressures on 9 starts is solid. 0 sacks is even better. And again, he did it while he had a back injury. And that tells me he understands how to survive. He may not be elite athletically. He may not be the longest tackle. He may not be the cleanest high ceiling edge protector in the class. But he knows how to play. He knows how to set. And he knows how to stay between the rusher and the quarterback. That's a big thing. And the pedigree does matter. St. John Bosco, Georgia, top 50 profile, All-American Bowl, SEC starting experience. These things don't automatically make you an NFL player, but they matter because Greene has spent years in elite football environments. He's been coached hard. He's played against top competition. And he's been around NFL caliber teammates. He understands the expectations, and for development of an offensive lineman that matters. I can literally pull up him playing against NFL players for years now, and that matters. And let's be real, the positional flexibility, him being able to play both tackles matters. Because it matters to NFL roster construction. If he's not locked in to staying at left tackle or staying at right, it helps with your roster management. Having a swing tackle, a player who can dress on a game day and be the backup on both sides is a real value. Greene's experience at both tackles definitely helps him. Nobody's perfect. We will always say nobody's perfect. The first issue is the back. It's the biggest concern. Back injury cost him games. And even when he played, you could see that it affected his power. And for offensive linemen, the back is almost, if it's not everything, it's darn close. It's where your anchor comes from. It's the power from the core. It's your drive power to your lower half. If your back is compromised, everything gets harder. And that showed in 2025. While the pass protection helped, the run game power disappeared too often. And that can't happen in 2026. His biggest on-field issue is the run blocking. Greene's run blocking collapsed to the bottom of his career range. And that's going to make NFL evaluators nervous. Because if you're not an elite athlete, you don't have the elite length, you need to win with technique, strength, and consistency. And when the run game power slips, that margin gets razor thin. At his best, Greene can cover up defenders, create angles, and generate enough movement. But 2025 and that back injury, the drive power was not consistently there. He didn't look like the same finisher. He did not create the same displacement of defenders in front of him. And that's why 2026 is so important for him. He has to prove that the run game regression was injury related and not a permanent part of his profile. And that's the next concern about him is his physical profile. He has shorter arms than you would want for a tackle. And that matters. Arm length is not everything, but it's important to a tackle. Longer rushers can get to your chest. Explosive edge defenders can stress you in set points. If he loses the first meaningful contact, he does not have the length to recover. And it makes the technical margin smaller. He has to be precise. He has to be early with his hands. He has to stay square. He has to win with positioning and timing. And with his athleticism not being super ideal, he's got to be technically clean every snap, with his arms not being the ideal length either. Then there's the depth chart signal. Greene was moved off the blind side for a younger teammate. That's not automatically a death sentence for this evaluation. Georgia has elite talent. Good players move around on great offensive lines. Sometimes it's about getting the best 5 on the field, but it is a data point. When a program moves a younger player to the blind side, NFL scouts notice, and it tells you Georgia has seen someone else as a better left tackle option in that moment. Now, Greene, returning to Athens for a 5th year, has a chance to move back to left tackle and rewrite that part of the story, but the 2025 move matters as part of the player evaluation. If he comes back and he plays right tackle and he looks phenomenal, we're not going to hold it against him as much. But if he looks like he's not all the way back there at right tackle, it's going to be mentioned. He is my offensive tackle 4. That's because Gooseby has the high-end tackle traits and is a cleaner top of the board profile. Seaton has all the physical tools, the pedigree, and the upside. Carter Smith has a combination of athletic ability, projection, and developmental ceiling. Greene doesn't have the cleanest athletic profile. He's not, there because he's the highest upside tackle in the class. He's offensive tackle 4 because he has real SEC starting experience, both sides, right and left, proven pass protection, the Georgia pedigree, and a chance to reestablish himself with a healthy 2026 season. And that's the biggest thing for him is in 2026, how healthy are you? He has to prove his back is healthy. He has to prove the run power is back. He has to prove he can still hold up on the blind side if he's given the chance. He has to prove he can play the full season. That's more important. If he does that, the NFL conversation quickly changes around him. And we could see him climb because if he has a clean medical and restores his run blocking game, is able to show the power to drive people, and is able to play left tackle again, even if it's in, limited situations, he shows that, let's be real, Georgia offensive linemen are not going to be ignored. And players who can protect the quarterback are not going to be ignored. If he's healthy, he's going to climb in this class. It's just very, very easy thing for him to do. 3 years of experience at the SEC, starting, he's played both tackles. His pedigree is phenomenal. The Georgia development for their linemen is phenomenal. 6 pressures on 9 starts last season, 0 sacks on 9 starts, even with a back injury. the dude is real. The, the questions are really, the back injury, is it healthy? Does his run game improve if his back is healthy? And that's it. You know, I've got him at a 9.02, number 39 overall, offensive tackle number 4, and that's my board. Can he bounce back and reestablish himself as one of the best tackles in college football? Is he still an NFL starter if he doesn't? And where would you rank him in the offensive tackles in this class? Because there's some talent in tackle in this class. And drop your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoy these player evaluations, we do them off of film and analytics. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, because we're going to keep putting in this work. We're going to have over 100 prospects ready for you before the college football season kicks off. As always, I'm Draft Yoda, Bill Workman, your favorite draft nerd's favorite draft nerd, and we'll see you guys in the next one.